General Andrew Jackson, or 1926, Abdul Aziz Ibn Swat.
It's January. It's Christmas.
Rodberg, Bob right here. I'm talking about Major General Andrew Jackson, or 1926, Abdul Aziz Ibn Swat, who became king of Najd or Hijaz. Talking Drew Ali, Sharif Abdul Ali, not Alpha the Great, or Laterio the Signet, elected Pope Innocentius III, or the Great Frost, or the Anti-Perusian Quadruple Alliance, or the Battle of Bloomberg near Cape Town, modern-day South Asia.
Dirty. What up, man? What you saying?
All you coward traders, sellouts, yeah. Fuck what you do. Fuck what you do. Fuck what you do. Fuck what you do.
Fight, run.
Dirty everybody, everywhere. Dirty every day. What's dirty will be dirty. Status of the child is the status of the mom. See by your children's fucked up, brainwashing them little niggas to be a pony on you every time you fucking up. They on you instead of teaching them civics. Teach them pony mommy. I have your fault. The rest is on your mommy. Poppy married to the game. Mommy married the system. What a shame. Children always the victim. Always the blame when they grow up to the same thing. You gon' get a lot of burnt up in flames. You be sitting there burning just for a change. You don't know where why live out the flames. True Moor, bet not call us out our names. Everything you lose seems like when the shit became. For the nation. No more colonization. Fuck what you do. Fuck what you do. I read like the sunrise. Nowhere where the mic you can run. Too little light, you get shunned. Move from our ignition. Shadowed by the gun. White, lay in the mud. You're dirty, everybody's everywhere. Dirty every day. Status is dirty. What's dirty will be dirty Latin Kirkman merging, making a whole lot of dust. We don't care what you do, you're not for us. You just they crutch, giving them something to stand on. You be brainwashing the little stallion to be pony. Be a soldier. Some people get a medallion for you. Show me, let it go, but I'm not the one. I'm not the only got a whole nation, holy moly. As my Cody, who do it toil right in the open, not with hidden hand on her soil, birthrights that was born with, not was given man who got minors living like Peter Pan, never grow up to be a man. Great. No more colonization. Fuck what you do. Fuck what you do. I read like the sun. You can always see me with my light, there's never none. Ignite for life from the spark of the sun. And begun. Only shadowed by the white, lay in the mud. You're dirty, anybody's everywhere. You're dirty every day. Status is dirty. What's dirty will be dirty. Baloney, not real, phony, clony, not straight, roamy, homie.
No, you can't touch because
You're dirty.
So yeah, Moors. I'm at the laundromat. Yeah.
Right, cause it's urgent. I think we need more than detergent. So why they so dirty? Probably never know. You heard me. Fix it. Lower self. Honor your higher.
Fuck.
Happy Moore's Christmas holiday. Partition. Dissecting real property. Wow. Paper y'all wishing. I'm tripping. On this earth, we the Lord. Missing on y'all ain't listen. So we shifting. Make nature do its flipping, tripping. Bird brain. At least there was a flipping shit. Rotten cotton instruction been starting to south. For me to mission picking. Move up here now. Unless this is the south. Maps upside down in the world. Not as round. Not as say it's a snowman. Shape up, but a shake up, not flat like toenails. That cool used to have people on sale. Jacob sells watches, too expensive, most can just watch it. Probably sells makeup or break it. Burger like glass in his pockets. D&E the pockets. They'll pay in time if you stop it. Pay attention, getting older, balls are drop it. Some folks, if you can't talk to, just drop kick. Just block it, or just drop it. Forget about it. Change the topic. Board the plane. Do not say I come from the top. Mind faster than light. Speed. Partition, carve, chisel, real property. Why you talking about Bitcoin and autism? Weak zombies act like they got an MD and orbism. They really believe that they elected these politicians. Can't tell them nothing. The universe is electromagnetism. That sentence means nothing to them. They running off of the dollar billism, corporatism. Circa 7 is the way. You know what happens when you stray. June days, here again. Hey. January, Moor is Christmas. 1886, Jan 8, B is Earth Day. January, Moor is Christmas. Even save the nation, rap. Some people think he did a little bit. Man did a lot. Save a whole nation. Did it with words. Dirty, give it back. They love occupation. They love keeping us like a nation. Separation, isolation, refugees on own states. Now we're the last to get our own plates. Sitting in our palaces, saying we're welcome to parental space. Up in 90 days, destruction comes. Many find building to make a base.
Too many to be erased. Too many.
Circa 7 is the way. You know what happens when you stray. June days, here again. Hey. January, Moor is Christmas. 1886, Jan 8, B is Earth Day. January, Moor is Christmas. Prophecies and philosophies. Moor is Christmas. World statements. Watch this prophecy manifest. Yes, not a lot left you wanna know about me. I'm deaf, dumb, this will fix ya. Only prophet with a picture be the only one that said there was not black color nigga. Before one jot or tittle of my words failed to come to pass, heaven and earth will pass away. It don't make any difference which way things look like they're going. It's all ending up in the Asiatic hands. Wars, there will be so few men that a child could go to the store and return home and tell his mother it's all man. Holy prophet said Atlantis will rise again. Don't throw away your Bible because I'm gonna use it to condemn the government. Circa 7 is the way. You know what happens when you stray. June days, here again. Hey. January, Moor is Christmas. 1886, Jan 8, B is Earth Day. January, Moor is Christmas. Came to save our nation. Take it as yourself. Internationality is how I gauge your wealth. Dirty's gonna tell you it's something else. There's in a button, constitutional bylaws, and 101, and Circa 7 is the way. You know what happens when you stray. June days, here again. Hey.
They try to drug me, but Allah loves me. The Moors trust me, practice voodoo. Dirty Moors, they can never dust me. Europeans cuss me when they tried to cuff me, cause they know my writs, they print like Federal Reserves, and they can't hush me. The Muslim son, Islam's Quran, to hawk is done, Psalms to none, his bark is shunned, he took them crumbs, so for some rum, I'll see Islam turn in turban, but none, you African bum.
Muslim son was just chillin', not on the run. Kidnapped with fake warrants, not for drugs or guns. Sheriff and doctors at the door. Taking off, not the prison, but the psychomedic ward. When he's not their ward, he's talking ipso jure, while they're talking color. He talks like he's so sure, abandoned by his own brothers. The temple with the fez above the door, did it I know. Crackers are mad at Albert Pike and what Latif Bey shows in his videos on YouTube with high-pitched tones. I'm thinking it's my headphones, but it's the skull and bones. Illuminati wants his mind, soul, and his body. Secret society, trying to kill him with anxiety. The truth is quite alluring. I'm just reassuring. The psycho hospital director's name is Matt Moor. Can't forget Margaret.
They try to drug me, but Allah loves me. The Moors trust me, practice voodoo. Dirty Moors, they can never dust me. Europeans cuss me when they tried to cuff me, cause they know my writs, they print like Federal Reserves, and they can't hush me. The Muslim son, Islam's Quran, to hawk is done, Psalms to none, his bark is shunned, he took them crumbs, so for some rum, I'll see Islam turn in turban, but none, you African bum.
Dirty Moor, dirty European. For only fiat sold out to freedom. Puppeted by your master's grip. Cut strings or make thick thin. Nah, not a man, you chick. I'm air testimony Terry L. Good Muslim sons helping us as well. Isn't that what you want? Oh, just talking. Yeah, I'm in your pockets. My other in your eye sockets. Nothing to see here but more Elmo Rock. Northwest to the southern block. And act keep playing. Makes best 3,000 miles away. Where you staying? What's your status? What's your nationality? What's this? Yeah, you took the crumbs. You a dirty scum.
They try to drug me, but Allah loves me. The Moors trust me, practice voodoo. Dirty Moors, they can never dust me. Europeans cuss me when they tried to cuff me, cause they know my writs, they print like Federal Reserves, and they can't hush me. The Muslim son, Islam's Quran, to hawk is done, Psalms to none, his bark is shunned, he took them crumbs, so for some rum, I'll see Islam turn in turban, but none, you African bum.
I'm not a minority, I'm not nigga, black or color. Muslim son, built like mother. Masculine features, grand architectures. On a Moorish balcony, taking in the weather. While doing alchemy, steam serpent feathers. Four forces coming together. Muslim son, I'm not a nigga. Extraordinary, great frost stories. Frankenstein in laboratories. Without the stars, it's just allegories. Without knowledge of self, it's just pastor told me. So go ask pastor and get back to me. To a Muslim son, that shit is funny. I yield the floor, reading a Jordan. Muslim son, not made my board. Never felt slave-like, even when I'm black-like. I know I'm not a nigga, cause I ain't a chocolate like. Cause a Muslim son, day and night. X.
They try to drug me, but Allah loves me. The Moors trust me, practice voodoo. Dirty Moors, they can never dust me. Europeans cuss me when they tried to cuff me, cause they know my writs, they print like Federal Reserves, and they can't hush me. The Muslim son, Islam's Quran, to hawk is done, Psalms to none, his bark is shunned, he took them crumbs, so for some rum, I'll see Islam turn in turban, but none, you African bum.
I heard the story of Yaqub, the Moorish scientist. He curated new people. Are you buying this? Whether it's true or not, this is what we got. Came from the Moabite womb, did it not? The child is perfect as the mother is. So that tells me it really don't matter who the father is. I'm Allah's son, he's a Muslim son. We the children of Allah, and we all be sons. Judge a man based on skin tone, you're already burnt up. Man, it's mine, not the body. I'm glad I spoke up, cause every time I rhyme, it's divine what I wrote up. You outdated, national principles, we all related. You indoctrinated, and that's why we separated. Went to a European school, so I'm educated. Prophet can use me, so you know I'm obligated. Self-taught, motivated, in the dark illuminated.
They try try to drug me, but Allah loves me. The Moors trust me, practice voodoo. Dirty Moors, they can never dust me. Europeans cuss me when they tried to cuff me, cause they know my writs, they print like Federal Reserves, and they can't hush me. It's the Muslim son, Islam's my thumb. So hawk is done, Psalms to none. His walk is shunned, he took them crumbs, so pour some rum. I'll see Islam turn in turban, but done, you African bum.
Pray harder.
Bigger fresh, instrumental obsessed, Black Moors, Tony Moors, Amalgamated Moors, the Lungeons, quiet in the back. European assistant Moors. What about you? Perpetrator playing the victim. The hurt you later, manipulate, doing the bitch thing. Born from a traitor. Rather be spawned from a laser cut cord. From a razor, don't give up these street smarts. That's common sense. Don't be a new retard. Get yourself out the struggle. Dig through the rubble. Still remain in the bubble. Whatever the thing, with the triple trouble. Double signing. Jurisdiction, you just subject. 14 to 1800 people lined up like suspects. Fornication, and Paris get hit with court case. Say mulattoes are inferior to the restlessness. When you look back at that law, it's bullshit. Nothing was voluntarily, all was the rest. Yeah, there's no mulatto with same path. Look up Scott versus George, 1869. Civil War didn't change that. They're still around with the same status that they gave you previous to it. Niggas and mulattoes was getting the same punishment. Any person who has the legal power to beat another human to death, sell another human being, work you like a machine, separate husbands from wives by any means, separate mothers from child. Because without a nationality, you're wild like a beast of the field. No me Catella Okiosa, quiet in the back. European assistant Moors. What about you? Perpetrator playing the victim. Perpetrator, manipulate, doing the bitch thing on. Born from a traitor. Rather be spawned from a laser cut cord. From a razor to the shaw. Don't give up these street smarts. It's common sense. Don't be a new retard. Got no flow, cause they love you. Traffic, you funnel. Make you a tunnel vision. Television, dead guys think you living. House being a house, nigga. Didn't matter your color. Just how good is your stupid. Wear the light skin. Black Moors hard. Blended in. Being white's not being a lookalike. Status. You want everything else, but don't want to have it. If you confuse it, it's so good. Never ever seen a mulatto teaching a Moor, a misnomer nigga. The language of their foreign parent that they know. Maybe talk, yo. Chill. Time to stop the talk and start the show. Cause the light of dark doesn't mean you're not a mole. Be burnt out before you try to see how that goes. Tell them what you know. Yeah. Don't be some hearsay shit, yo. Next day, stiff. Your whole body gotta turn with it. Light skin is out. Darkies turn with it. Some of y'all gonna stay black permanent. Looking for the German men. Alright, the wars. Clear cause they can you got dope, it's when they bug you. Everything puts another man above you. You're tranny, fear them when I love you. Your family, it might not come through. Don't sit quiet in the back. Not time for you to relax. Might be halfway, but not half a mile. Are you that? Are you? I don't think that was status, man. You want you to guaranteed to be like the old man, that'll be. You got the A-M-D, I mean D-A-M. DNA. London, help me out. I'm quiet in the back. European assistant Moors. What about you? Perpetrator playing the victim. The hurts later, liquidate, doing the bitch thing on. Born from a traitor. Rather be spawned from a razor cut cord. From a razor to the shore. Don't give up your street smart. It's common sense. Don't be a new retard. Get your hands on some shovel, I'm not helping them just struggle. You always want to be the shit, but nobody want to touch you. You're awful. Always want to be the bitch, want to give me dog. I expect you to talk some. Yes. Stand so quiet in the back. Step it up, step up front. Moorish.
The leftover love. Unfortunately, I've grown a lot and come to grips with, my mom. All that shit is not an issue. It's with my daughter.
What's happening? What's happening now? How you doing out there? So we're gonna start with what the prophet said our dominions are. How big the country is, because when the prophet went down to Havana, Cuba, whatever the heck, he just had, one flag that represents the whole nation, the whole nation of people. He gave us the dimensions, which is the dominions, like longitude, latitude, and Nobujuali giving us, that's Allah giving us, reestablishing the covenant that this is the promised land that was bestowed on the Moors from time immemorial, Yeah, there might be, people talking about still on the aliens and all these other things, but okay, like, yes, say there's life outside or inside or beyond the wall or whatever, their dominion is over there, they the rulers are over here. The rulers, the ones who get to measure and say what it is, over here are the Moors. You know what I'm saying? Moors that involve, that's everybody, the whole world, right? And some variation of Moors in them, so, or some certain amount of variations of Moors in them. So there might be other creatures and stuff that's out there, but they have their own ecosystem. They have their own area that they do their thing. You know what I'm saying? That they domicile at. So if something like that was to show up over here, then yeah, they came to do what they probably always did. Whether it's to give you a gift or for feasting. You know what I'm saying? Your thing is to be yourself. That's what you got to be worrying about. Islam. So I was going to talk about man and son, or woman and so-called man. It's something forever to talk about. But
I touched it. I touched on it a few times. I even went deep in it the last couple classes, but for some reason, um, YouTube or something cut it off 15 or 20, 17 minutes or something like that. I went on for like an hour deep in the stuff. I wish, I could have just was able to save it or whatever, so it'd be less things for me to bring up. That's already been, already been done. In today's rapidly changing world, the fabric of American society is facing numerous challenges that are eroding important values and the family unit. The traditional values and dynamics that once formed the foundation of a healthy household and a thriving society are being undermined. This article aims to shed light on the various aspects of culture and American society that are contributing to the deterioration and the consequences it has on our collective well-being. Decline in moral values. One of the key factors contributing to the erosion of the family unit and the important values is the decline in moral values. As our society becomes more individualistic, materialistic, meaning their vibration is dropping, getting slower and denser. The focus on virtues such as honesty, integrity, empathy seems to be diminishing. This shift in values have resulted in a breakdown of trust and lack of accountability, both within families and in broader social interactions. It has become more and more prevalent in recent times. Let me see if I can share this stuff. I don't know what's going on over here, but Islam, let me share this thing when I'm reading. Read along with me, because y'all are the readers, right? Just the MC. So, breakdown of accountability, both family and social. It becomes more and more prevalent in recent times that true morality is not as valued as pure acceptance of any and all actions a person makes. This occurs within regards of consequence, or to bring attention to the implications of certain behaviors and ideas that are inevitably harmful to the masses or demographics that are seemingly being catered to. Life is difficult. To remain diligent is a brutal road we must all face. Avoiding the unaccountability of life to only ever be accepted only causes one to lie to themselves, hide the true pains and consequences from the public, behind the lens of picture-perfect snapshots of fake temporary smiles
and virtuous words strung together to signal a sense of superiority in imaginary contest online. We as a society are slowly corroding or our once beautiful and proud society. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I can't say that I did it. The stuff, the stuff, the stuff, I was born into this stuff, you know, where, where looking out is more important than looking in and being accepted. That's why our people will go along with the black stuff. Going along with the black stuff, you get accepted more, no? Less of a problems. Mommy and dad, everybody's, like is going along with it for the the secret but public imagination of trying to be equal in a society where you're devalued and worth less than everybody else. So like you know, you're in a conflict that is uphill, and it's always going to be an uphill battle that you cannot win in, because people are socially engineered to love the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Right now, while I'm on this live, you got a million, 100 million people looking up dumb stuff, no? Right now. The same people that needs this information, that's contributing to the derailment and dysfunction of society are the same people who's not going to listen to this shit. And they're the ones who needs this information. Another detriment aspect is the fragmentation of time and attention with the advent of technology and the constant connectivity it offers. So the opposite is happening. So communication, you're more in tune with what's going on, they say, but you have a house full of people on the phone. Nobody's communicating with each other. If they have to do a face-to-face thing, they have an overwhelming amount of anxiety and other things that's a factor of being antisocial. Families are finding it increasingly challenging to spend quality time together. The constant distractions and smartphones, social media, and entertainment have created a culture where face-to-face interaction are often replaced by virtual connections. So the more they're on their devices, the more they do this thing, the more they are being separated mentally from their family, their culture, their identity and stuff, So technology to the undisciplined is doing the opposite. It's not doing what the people think, stay connected. No, you're staying disconnected. It's not you're being more connected, you're being more disconnected from reality, because reality is outside the screen. The screen is a reflection of reality, but it's a lower vibrational frequency. So
The people are designed to be attracted to lower vibrational frequencies. You know what I'm saying? So, social media and entertainment have created a culture where face-to-face interactions are often replaced by virtual connections. This has led to the decline of meaningful communication and emotional connection, which are vital for the development of a strong family bond. You know, like, so all of the stuff that's vital, I'm not just repeating that, but all of the stuff that's vital for a family to be able to be a strong family, to be able to pass on generational knowledge, cultural stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all being eroded away because um, they have access to people who could be anybody. People could be anybody. I could just, like, if you don't know me, right after this thing is done, I could be just go put on my policy enforcer uniform and go do the complete opposite of what I say that I'm doing, because people end up trusting. I talk to a lot of mothers and sisters that probably wouldn't listen to their own people that's close to them, because it's just the way how they're used to it. It's like, if you don't know something, it has to be better. You know what I'm saying? It has to be better because you don't know about it. And that's going to be our downfall all the time. Because somebody at least what to trust from them and what not to trust from them. Somebody you don't know, like, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. They could be telling you pure bullshit. Islam, whoever that is, you already know. Or maybe you don't know. That's how it is. We're here. So consumerism and materialism have permeated every aspect of the American society, exerting a profound influence on the corrosion of values and the family unit. The relentless pursuit of material possessions have created a culture where the acquisition of wealth and possession is prioritized. See, so the dummies who don't have nothing, right, of carnal value, they think that's what. Why would Allah create you and make something that you need outside of you, apart from food and everything, right? So people who don't really have anything, they always think that, having what somebody else seems to have and seems to be happy, and so they're only happy because they have it, because they're happy because you don't have it. That's why. But if you had it, they're gonna be sad, dude. Over the development of meaningful relationships and personal growth, right? MOB, right? And then whatever the woman would say, like, I can't be happy if the nigga ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the culture, and it's only gonna get worse if they had their choice at destroying humanity. But lucky thing, that's not how it's gonna go, right? This focus on material wealth has led to a sense of emptiness as people strive to fill the void with possessions rather than invest in emotional wellness, well-being of themselves and their families. Furthermore, the constant exposure of advertising and consumer culture has created a sense of dissatisfaction. You know, the European line, the European line right now, the culture of dissatisfaction as individuals compare yourself to unrealistic standards and strive for a never-ending cycle of consumption. You know, never-ending cycle of consumption. So, what do we see here so far? What do we see so far? That the value of family is being replaced with the value of products and merchandise and other stuff that cannot reproduce, you know, that cannot that's not humanly possible to give you the same thing another human, especially your family member, can offer you, right? Or else why would you know, nature, why would the universe even create other people then? You know, if it was about you getting things, you know, it wouldn't be necessary to have other people then around if the core thing is to be in commune with others, or else, you know, you wouldn't be born needing your mother's breast milk, and, you know, born out the womb and stuff like that. So, you know, the relations between the mother and son is vital. Mother is in the woman, son is in the father's, you know, is vital, and it's deteriorating, and it will lead to destruction of whatever nationality or so-called civilization of whoever that stuff is happening to. The transformation of gender roles and family dynamics have brought about a fundamental change in the structure of household and dynamics within them. While the progress towards gender equality is a positive development, it has also disrupted traditional roles and responsibilities, leading to confusion and strain within families. The blurring of gender lines has challenged traditional notions of masculinity and femininity in impacting how individuals perceive their roles within the family. So, you know, it's pretty much, it was a steady foundation, and down to, like, you know, 5 months ago, you ask somebody what a man is, they couldn't explain it to you. You know, you ask somebody what a woman is, they couldn't explain. They had no idea. Like, you know, that's how far
humans or mankind or whatever they're called fell, and they keep, it's not going to stop, until somebody realizes or until the people realize that, they're the ones that's doing it, you know, it's because of their desires and their lack of accountability is what's causing most of the issues in general, because most people are into the me's, they're not into the us, and they're not into the we's. They're on the lowest frequency of understanding, which is a me, me. Anything outside of your box, you have no understanding or care to even understand that about that. So so that's the breakdown of all of that. So the thing is, said about the chromosomes last time. So the woman has, according to science, two X chromosomes, right? Two X chromosome. The Y chromosome is created when a so-called deformity, but a transformation, right? Due to the lack of something. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a malfunction or whatever. The Y chromosome came in to play when there was a lack of something from the two X chromosomes. Right? So get the past 40, 50 years, it was all about getting the man out of the house, right? So that they'd have access to the woman and her delusional dreams that they set up for her in the first place. Because the man is more logical in, especially when it comes to the community, and we're more left brainers, and the woman is more right brain feeling kind of thing. So it was important to separate. Anything you separate it becomes weaker. You know what I'm saying? So it was important to separate the family so that you could able to manipulate the family, because people like Tim Hortons, Islam, Exodus, yeah, like people like Tim Hortons. That's why you won't see Tim Hortons promoting come to the library, learn something. You'll never see those companies promoting that stuff. Everything they promote is about you just go kick the ball and play, go and play. And then when you get old to a certain age, right? When you need a job, when mommy and daddy's not taking care of you no more, whatever, the first thing you're going to think about is, oh yeah, Tim Hortons. And then boom, Tim Hortons gets another employee, because these big multi-billion-dollar companies, they all have a lot of factories and a lot of employee vacancies, so they can't have everybody intelligent. If everybody intelligent, who's gonna go work and pour the tea, or who's gonna go and drive from A to B with their delivery stuff? Like, who's gonna do all that when everybody's a rocket scientist, everybody's a doctor and shit, right? So anything that would promote anybody being stupid in the future, they'll back that. So they'll back the hockey, soccer, baseball, SpongeBob, movies, anything that has nothing to do with learning like that. So Walmart, um, anybody, any company that has a lot of um, units or spaces that requires a lot of employees and stuff, they're going to promote anything that has nothing to do with learning and bettering yourself mentally, right? Because they need a steady amount of workers coming in at any given year. They need a steady amount of workers. So say McDonald's, right? McDonald's say they have a thousand factories and 1,000 stores or whatever. You know how much workers that is? And the workers, they don't hang around for long. So they need a steady stream of people coming in that's pretty much retarded, that don't know any better than just get this job for now. So a lot of the misinformation and miseducation and everything is just to have workers. Just to have workers. The workers don't need to know how business is set up and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? The workers just need to know the address, need to know how to spell their name, and they need to know how to count for if they want to do accounting for the jobs or whatever. Right? The most intelligent person that you know, right? Where is he? He works. He picks up boxes. He brings up a card from there. He does. Um, he does. What do you call those things? Those paper work. Those paper that you fill out the stuff that's already pre done. Broiler plates. It's already done and everything. He just has to just press the send button, and he could have been an astronaut and stuff, but he don't have the time. He has to pay the bills. He has to do this and that. So that's how they set it up, so that so they needed to get the mothers out of the house, right? So they got the father out of the house. So the mother now automatically has to come out of the house too, because who's going to provide? And then the mother and the father is at work separate in a different workplaces usually, right? Being told or being ordered around by two different people, and they're probably assholes sometimes. So then, when those two mothers and fathers come home, they're already annoyed, they're already pissed off, and then they're coming home now, and it's like there has to be a balance. It's like there was just a yes man this whole time for the past 8 hours. So now, it's total domination at home, to make up subconsciously for their lack of power for their day job. You know what I'm saying? Islam. So I was just saying about the erosion of the family, and how, everybody's chasing the bag. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking that they're down here. Life is about chasing the bag. And once you get a certain amount of finance, which is nobody ever says they just want to just keep making finance forever. Like they don't really think about a certain amount, and then you can do other stuff. It's just about survival, paying the bills, and buying a whole bunch of shit so that to ensure that you can't even stay ahead of the bills.
so that ensures that you have to go back to work and be a yes man again, because you don't want to lose nothing that you have on credit, so it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So so the Y chromosome was came into being from whatever vibrational thing was going on with the X's, right? It was lacking. It got to a point where it was lacking. So they'll say a mutation, or they'll say it got disturbed or whatever. But what happened is that there was a lack. So that from the lack, because of how this universe works, when something is lacked, then something fills it in. Something fills in. So mother's been falling genetically, spiritually, physically for a very long time now. For a very long, very, very supremely long time now. And the byproduct of mother is all these niggas out here. All these, name the worst person. Who you think that person came from? And how come he was allowed to grow up his whole life and not be disciplined or whatever, and got to get to a certain age and not even bring certain things up? Right? There's a different feeling when you directly create a baby, apart from indirectly doing it, like the father. The mother is going to be overly protective of her little, or of her, like, something that came out of her and stuff. So anybody that's not thinking super protective like her, then she's gonna automatically be at defense mode against, baby fall, baby's trying to crawl, baby falls. The wrong thing to do is jump over there and say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Then you're gonna make the baby, panic. The right thing to do is to either, ignore it, or tell the baby, come on, you can do it, man. Like, you can, try again. So most mothers will look at that as you loving the baby less than them or something. You know what I'm saying? When we're coming from a different angle, right? To fill in the gap, literally, physically, of what she didn't have, or she lost. You know what I'm saying? We are the part that she lost. So or we could be the balance, right? So what's happening is that the mother, somehow, the love from you, that you, like, that you and her have, gets transplanted usually to the children, right? It's not it doesn't expand. It gets transplanted. You know what I'm saying? So, that could be, a fault, or it could be, something that's missing. Hence, that's why we're there. Whatever she lacks, that's what we're there for. So I see that
And then because of the constant growing up and always being in competition, from playing games, playing this and that, blah blah blah, that it seems like it becomes a competition of who the babies will love more and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like this is in general, you know, and this is all coming from the miseducation, misdiagnosis, you know, of her situation. You know what I'm saying? So um, all of that was because of the self-hate that was transplanted inside of her somehow, you know, which gets passed on to the children. You know what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying or what? What's going on? You hear what I'm saying? Right? So you are able to there's love is not it's not a basic thing, you know. There's many angles of it. There's many tiers to it, you know. Loving your pet is not the same as loving your food, your favorite food, you know. But it's the same word. It's the same word you're using, right? But it's not the same as it breaks down, right? So because the roles have been being changed from tradition, right? That's also the psychology of everything tries to be transplanted, but the two opposites are still not the same, even though, you know, they're the mirror of each other. So by the fathers trying to have babies, you know, you, as an example, you will have a lot of structural damage and issues, and probably almost certainly like die if you try to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like because even if you're stronger and, you know, your body's bigger and everything, it still doesn't support, like, even if you surgically do it, like, you still need a whole bunch of other exterior things to trick your body to make it think that it can have a baby. So um the father has something that the mother can technically never have, you know, which is um that that Y chromosome, masculine, hyper masculine, um it's got, what we just said, um that pure concentrated masculinity, right, that is needed to raise masculine things, you know, and that the mother, to a point, can't possibly understand that because she doesn't have that Y chromosome. She has X chromosomes. So therefore, the variation frequency is going to be a different point of view from her, which it had to have been needed. That's why it came. That's why it evolved if they would say devolve, but that's why it evolved into the Y chromosome. So now having the parents separate, but they can't, for the baby to be born, they had to have come together at some point. And the baby cannot be born by itself. It needs the male and the female. So the same thing, I would assume, is needed for them to be raised holistically. You'll need a mother and a father, you know. But if you have any one of the mothers or the fathers thinking that they don't need the other, then that's where did they get the idea from? Like, where did that idea come from? Because that's not a natural idea. You know, you naturally are attracted to the other side. So where would you get the idea that you don't need somebody after you need them? You know what I'm saying? That's not any kind of loyalty and that stuff. That's some work thing going on. You know, so disloyalty, dishonors, these are the highest standards you'll get from society that follows the trend of, you'll get illusions, delusions, you'll get broken dreams, broken hearts, because your mind's not right in the first place. You know, why? Because it's been socially engineered to destroy your own family for stuff that don't procreate, that will disintegrate sooner or later, because we don't really know what man and woman is, you know, because the deeper you go, the vaster it is, you know. So your understanding of what it is, because of how the universe works, it's real to you, but it's not the ultimate understanding, or it's not the best path, the best decision to make, you know. So mothers are forced to be the protectors and the providers because they wanted equal rights, but they didn't, I don't think, like, did they know that equal rights meant not equal rights, but just some of the rights of men? You know, that's what it was. It was some of the rights of men. That's what they got, you know. So because they received something that's outside of their nature, you know, it would cause them to be psychologically imbalanced because they're doing stuff outside of their nature. So all of this stuff is, you know, a form of genocide. This is all the destruction of what you guys know as the family and civilized de facto world, you know. So so um so everything is resetting, even even the family, right? Because the indoctrination is so that it's hard to put new wine in old skin. That's why Noble Jolly said this was for the young and unborn, because they stand a chance to build this, and the adults can come if they want, but they're usually too far gone by the time they get any kind of wisdom to be able to use the wisdom. So they just have a whole bunch of information. So the so-called slave master who freed you then told you, I'll give you some extra dough if you don't have the man around, and then told you that you're independent, but I'll stop giving you benefits at the end of the month if you do anything that'll shake up anything that I'm doing. And they roll with that. So you got to start with not only love of self, you gotta love your family. You gotta love your family enough to not want so much shit, right? Because wanting all that shit, like they said, it's just giving you more dissatisfaction and more emptiness. Duh, we knew this when we were 5 years old. Right? The religious side of stuff is for children, but the thing is that a lot of people never grew out of being children. But yeah, so said what I said. You have an issue, say something. But words are kind of like my strength. So careful what you say. Play some music and be out of here, though. Might do something on might do something on IG if Jerry's there. Jerry said he wanted to do something, but who knows, man? Who is that? Moor, as you already know, just putting in my donations. Um, Moorish.
Remember this?
Moorish.
This is why North America is still referred to as Morocco or ancient Morocco, because it was once a body politic of Morocco. Which Morocco sits in northwest Africa as we speak, over in the east. North America, the islands, Atlantis, Morocco was once one body at one time and was under the jurisdiction and dominion of the Moroccan Empire. These are facts. This is history.
Welcome, welcome There's nowhere. Silent Jamaicans, anyone that say that we not Moors. Just straight a hater in the making, worse than bacon. They imposters like the demons faking to be a nation.
Anybody talking to you about nationality, anybody telling you that you aboriginal to the land or talking to the land, but they say that you ain't a Moor, is an agent. Is an agent. They working against you because real people do real things, and the only people that's on fire, been banging on the devil all these years, is us.
The amount of foes in front of us, we enough more. You got a handful, fingers left over. There's nowhere
to island of Jamaicans. What type of fraud you participating in? Word of my mother God, she in my heart. Father, you can't tear us or tell us apart.
All these people calling us RPG. You came up under after Garvey. You coming up under Garvey. You coming up under Garvey. And that means you are a foreigner. You trying to make yourself a communist. Because he was a communist. He was a part or down with the American colonial society. And they were about going into Liberia, taking that land from the native Liberians.
There's nowhere to island of Jamaicans. Unless your property with a label, brand. Gave it all up for cable. Now internet. I'll forgive, but I won't forget.
So in America, in the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th century, the way that the Moors was dressing over there in Andalus, the way that they was dressing in Tartary is the same way they were dressing here. This is the uniform, this is the armor.
Signing on top of the door at night. The climate ain't helping them packing. It's the economics. They still wearing the same clothes that they stole from 1851 Moorish closet. Moorish production. Factories had a lot of boxes. They're making cheese to say they got it from the oxes. It's Photoshop.
That none of this shit happened.
Welcome, Moorish. Welcome, Moorish. Moorish. There's nowhere to island of Jamaicans. I see you made it off from slave memberships. Moorish. Welcome, Moorish.